Confidence proudly presents America's Invisible Heroes radio talk show. Tune in weekly on Sundays from 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Pacific time with your host, Consuela Mackey, co-host, U.S. Air Force veteran Matt Davidson, announcer Taylor Marcella, U.S. Army veteran and Strategies for Hope segment host, Dr. Kathy Cash, U.S. Army Reserve veteran and entertainment segment host, Charles Whitehead, U.S. Army Special Forces veteran and I Once Was Whole segment host, Richard Cook, U.S. Army veteran and Lifeline for Women's Veterans segment host, Martha Elena Varela, National Faith Director, Chaplain, and Veterans in Recovery segment host, Anthony Akampora, and U.S. Air Force veteran and Incarcerated to Success segment host, Kevin Lewandowski. For more information or to be a guest on our show, email info@operationconfidence.org.
Operation Confidence is a grassroots nonprofit. The organization's mission is to provide stable housing for veterans who have experienced homelessness, as well as providing a wide range of supportive services. To help accomplish our goal, a successful landowner has donated land for the project, a world-renowned architect has offered to design the houses, and construction classes from the local community colleges will take part in building the houses. Your support and donations are needed. To get involved, please visit our website at www.operationconfidence.org or email info@operationconfidence.com.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for tuning in to Americans Invisible Heroes, a show that's dedicated to our veterans and their families. Yes, I'm your host, Consuela Mackey, Executive Director of a grassroots nonprofit organization called Operation Confidence. No, I'm not a veteran, but my heart goes out to our American heroes, especially veterans who are disabled and may have experienced homelessness. For those who are new to the show, American Invisible Heroes was established to provide a platform for our veterans to be able to share their experiences, heartfelt stories, resources, challenges, and accomplishments. Now, allow me to introduce you to our co-hosts for today. We have U.S. Air Force veteran Matt Davidson. He's also the board member vice president and is a co-host. U.S. Army Reserve veteran Charles Whitehead, he's a board member and a co-host as well for our entertainment segment. Taylor Marcellus, board member, and I'm one of our announcers. U.S. Army veteran Kathy Cash is not here today, but she's represented by a new guest, and her segment is called Strategies for Success. We have U.S. Major General Anthony Smith. He has a bi-monthly segment called Can't Keep a Good Man Down. And then we have U.S. Navy veteran Calvin Poole. He has a monthly segment called Blind Veterans Helping Blind Veterans. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome.
Okay, first of all, Operation Confidence and our American Invisible Heroes team would like to give honor to our Hispanic Heritage for the Spanish Heritage Month that began Thursday, September the 15th. And we're going to take it away to you, Matt, and then from there, we're going to let Martha tell us some more information about the Hispanic Heritage Month. Take it away, Matt.
Okay. Usually when you're talking about veteran suicide rates, it's not a pleasant topic, but there's been a slight change that shades some sunlight on it. According to the VA, the veteran suicide rate has decreased 2 years in a row, marking the fewest veteran suicides in a year since 2006. This is according to data released Monday by the Department of Veterans Affairs. The VA's National Suicide Rate Prevention Annual Report, which compiles its data on a 2-year lag, revealed there were 6,146 veteran suicide deaths in 2020, 343 fewer than in 2019. The average number of veteran suicides in a year also had a small decrease from 17.2 in 2019 to 16.8 in 2020. This year's report shows real progress, but there is still so much work to be done. VA Secretary Dennis McDonough said in a prepared statement, "One veteran suicide is one too many, and VA will continue to work with our federal, state, local, and private partners to tackle this problem and save veterans' lives." The report breaks down the method of suicide as well as the gender, ages, and ethnicities of veterans who died in 2020. The VA said that from 2019 to 2020, suicide rates fell across all racial groups. For female veterans, the suicide rate also decreased, 20.3% lower than in 2019. However, a study called Operation Deep Dive, which was released Saturday, reported a 37% higher rate of veteran suicides than what the VA has reported previously. The study was conducted by America's Warrior Partnership, a suicide prevention group that contracted with the University of Alabama and partnered with Duke University to gather state-provided death data. The group also coordinated with the Department of Defense to corroborate military affiliations. Researchers for the study, which was funded by Bristol Myers Squibb Foundation, worked to get the specificity of each descendant, demographics, military experience, and death details. Tamara Campbell, interim executive director at VA's Office of Mental Health and Suicide Prevention, said people are talking about mental health more freely. Our top leaders, including our president, our VA secretary, our undersecretary, they understand mental health and the importance of helping to support this office to get the word out, she said. And public understanding of it continues to increase. The VA's next step to continuing combating veteran suicide align with its national strategy for preventing veteran suicide plan, which was implemented in 2019, and the White House's reducing military and veteran suicide strategy. So there's work being done. They're trying to get the numbers down. One thing I also read in another periodical was that suicide by firearms is down, but being replaced by drug overdose. So that's something else that the VA is going to have to get a handle on. But at least it's being worked on, and it's not being pushed under the rug. People are looking at the problem, and I think that it'll get better before it gets worse.
Right. That was a good message, Matt. As always, you do an excellent job. Thank you so much. If any, at least it's going down. So
right,
you know, and that's a good thing.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Because it was out of control there for a minute.
Yeah.
So anyway, Matt, I know you have to leave. We want to thank you so much, and we'll see you at the next board meeting, and then from there the following day.
You got it.
So, okay. Thank you so much. Give my love to Ann.
I will.
Okay. So Martha, it's on you, girl.
You got it, Connie. What you didn't know about Hispanic Heritage Month. Each year, Americans observe National Hispanic Heritage Month from September 15th to October 15th by celebrating the histories, cultures, and contributions of American citizens whose ancestors came from Spain, Mexico, the Caribbean, and Central and South America. The observation started in 1968 as Hispanic Heritage Week under President Lyndon Johnson and was expanded by President Ronald Reagan in 1988 to include a 30-day period, which started on September 15th and ended on October 15th. It was enacted into law on August 17th of 1988 on the approval of Public Law 100-402. The day of September 15th is significant because of the anniversary of independence for the Latin American countries of Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua. In addition, Mexico and Chile celebrate their independence days on September 16th and 18th, respectively. Also, Columbus Day, or now that we've heard it referred to as the Day of the Indigenous or Dia de la Raza, which is October 12th, also falls within the 30-day period. Here are some other interesting facts on Hispanic Heritage Month, courtesy of the Office of Diversity and Inclusion at Georgia Regents University. The 15th was chosen as the start point for the celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month because of the anniversary of independence of 5 Latin American countries: Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua. In addition, Mexico and Chile also celebrate their independence days during that month. As America's largest growing ethnic group, about 60% of people of Hispanic descent have type O blood compared to 45% of Caucasians and 50% of African Americans. Type O is the blood hospitals need most. I actually heard something about that recently about when people who have different types of blood need blood transfusions for whatever reason, that they can use the type O blood. But interestingly, I don't have that blood. Anyway, with 329 million native speakers, Spanish ranks as the world's #2 language in terms of how many people speak it as their first language. It is slightly ahead of English, 328 million, but behind Chinese at 1.2 billion. The term Hispanic was first adopted by the United States government in the early 1970s and has since been used in local and federal employment, mass media, academia, and business market research. It has been used in the U.S. Census since 1980 because of the popularity of the term Latino in the western portion of the United States. The government adopted this term as well in 1977 and has used it in the 2000 census. There are 1.1 million Hispanic veterans in the U.S. Armed Forces. The term Hispanic originally denoted a relationship to Hispania, more commonly known as Portugal and Spain, and the people colonized by those two countries. According to the 2010 census, Hispanics accounted for more than half of the growth in the United States population between 2000 and 2010. The U.S. is the 5th largest Hispanic country in the world. The majority of the U.S. population is Mexican American, followed in size by Central and South American, Puerto Rican American, and Cuban American. Spaniards are believed to be the longest continuously established population in Europe. Hispanics are not a monolithic group. Some Hispanic subgroups have remarkably few characteristics in common. Various subgroups reflect great differences in ethnicity, culture, origin, and can cover the racial spectrum from white, African American, Asian, Pacific Islander, and Native American. Hispanics are a mix of European, African, and Native American peoples. The Chicano movement was a civil rights movement that started by looking for the restoration of land grants. The movement expanded to encompass Mexican farm workers' rights, enhanced education, voting rights, and political rights. Compared with non-Hispanics, cancer rates among Hispanics are lower overall and lower for the major sites: lung, breast, prostate, and colorectal. Well, that's interesting. The Hispanic family is a close-knit group and the most important social unit. The family usually extends beyond the nuclear family. Hispanics usually place great value on appearance as a sense of honor, dignity, and pride. Religion plays a significant role in the day-to-day life of families. More than 90% of the Spanish-speaking world is Roman Catholic. Augustine, Florida, and Santa Fe, Mexico were Hispanic cities founded before Plymouth, Massachusetts. 70% of the Hispanic population lives in just 5 states: California, Texas, New York, Florida, and Illinois. The Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, signed February 2nd in 1848, officially ended the Mexican-American War. And the term Hispanic and Latino tend to be used interchangeably in the United States for people with origins of Spanish-speaking or Portuguese-speaking countries like Mexico, Costa Rica, and Brazil. And it's difficult sometimes, I think, to remember, given the diversity within the Hispanic Latino community, that Hispanic is not a race, but an ethnicity. So it's sometimes easy, and even for us within the culture, it's not always easy to identify, like if a person is from Guatemala or Honduras or El Salvador. So it's always safe just to ask, are you a Latino? Although everybody tends to ask others if you're Mexican, and I am Mexican, so I wouldn't get offended, but if I wasn't Mexican and you asked me, maybe some others would. So it's always just good to ask. And Latino seems to be the umbrella term. That's the safest term to use. Age is also a big thing that plays into identification. For example, my mother in her 80s does not identify with the term Latino. She doesn't understand what that means. So she goes by where she was born, and that was Mexico. So age sometimes is also a way to gauge, what term you might want to lean towards using. But when in doubt, it's always just safe to ask, and people can explain. And it's interesting, even for me, and like I said, I've grown up around a lot of diverse ethnicity groups, and now being here in California, being introduced to more groups, and it's even confusing for me. So it's completely understandable for others to just not know. And again, because we do come from such a diverse group of people, right? We are mixed with Afro-Caribbean,
Right.
African, African in general, Native American, white. Right. I mean, so it can be hard to tell. And like I said, given age and country of origin and all that other stuff, it can be confusing. But this was a very interesting article, Consuelo. Thank you for pulling out some of these facts. And
my pleasure.
Yeah.
And we take pride in our Latino brothers and sisters, including you.
Thank you.
Thank you too. I appreciate that article.
Oh yeah, it was wonderful doing the research. I learned so much as I was researching. So we'll gonna move right along here. It's on you, Charles.
On me.
It's on me.
On Taylor.
Oh, I'm sorry. Duh.
Yeah.
Okay, so U.S. Navy veteran Calvin Poole is president of the Tennessee Regional Group. He joined the U.S. Navy in 1976 and completed his enlistment in 1982 as part of the U.S. Navy Construction Battalion, the Fighting Seabees. Selected as the recruit chief petty officer, Calvin led his company to win the Brigade Award for the most outstanding company. Currently, Calvin dedicates his resources and time to getting blinded veterans from his regional group and other local citizens involved in both adaptive sports and arts and craft through partnerships with other nonprofit organizations. Some of the geographical areas in which Calvin has influence with veterans include northern Mississippi, eastern Arkansas, and the western portion of Tennessee. Calvin credits BVA for being instrumental in his personal and professional growth, and he encourages blinded veterans to join the organization, remain active in their local regional groups, and experience BVA's Operation Peer Supportive activities. His guest today is Ms. Monace Gilmore. She is a retired U.S. Army veteran and lives in Knightdale, North Carolina. As a former sergeant, Gilmore continues to serve in various aspects for veterans. Her military occupational specialty was an 88M transportation instructor stateside and a third country national escort gunner in Iraq. She completed a deployment in Iraq from 2005 to 2006, in which she was injured by an improvised explosion device that caused a traumatic brain injury and blindness. As a retired veteran, she continues to be very impactful nationwide, bringing awareness to volunteers and their families of various resources provided for them. Ms. Gilmore is the former District 3 Director in Women's Veteran Group, Chairman of the Blinded Veterans Association, and Ms. Gilmore has represented as a BVA ambassador for Project Gemini Blind Veterans United Kingdom, currently an active member of several veteran service organizations, and serves on the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Working Group Stakeholder Board for the Department of Veterans Affairs. She enjoys motivational speaking, songwriting, singing, adaptive sports such as kayaking, golfing, tandem cycling, snow skiing, hiking, and scuba diving. With a Bachelor's of Science in Healthcare Administration, Ms. Gilmore uses her expertise to advocate for the health and wellness or for the health and welfare needs of all veterans. Take it away. I think there may be pictures to follow, but while we're pulling that up, take it away. Oh, you did? Cool.
Are we gonna,
Well, let's have Ms. Gilmore to talk first.
Yes.
Welcome, Ms. Gilmore.
Welcome, Ms.
You have
Gilmore.
a very impressive track record, very much so.
Well, thank you everyone for having me today.
Our pleasure. Tell us a little bit about you, what you're doing. I know your picture's going to come up soon.
Yes, well, I am an advocate for all blinded veterans. I started my advocacy work when I became a blinded veteran after I had progressed through rehabilitation. And one of the main organizations that helped me get through my rehabilitation and learn further resources to help other blinded veterans or the visually impaired veteran community was the Blinded Veterans Association. As time has went on, I served, as you guys just heard, on several different aspects for the Blinded Veterans Association that has allowed me now to do a lot of things locally and nationally with different communities, bringing awareness to blinded veterans and all veterans with disabilities. So I share a lot of resources, advocacy work, from addiction to blind rehabilitation centers, just about anything, even dealing with mental health. And it's all to collaborate and serve the main mission, which is to make sure we can help our visually impaired veterans and all veterans through whatever resources that are out there. If we know them, my main key is to also just to share and bring awareness to those things. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm also very involved into adaptive sports. Sorry about that. That's my talk and watch. From whitewater kayaking to golfing. Those are my two key sports to skiing. I share a lot of different resources with other nonprofit organizations that can help veterans, the veteran community, get out there and live life to the fullest. Just because we might have some type of, I don't like to say disabilities, some type of differences or difficulties, we're still able to live life to the fullest. And that's what it's all about. That's what I do. I am a motivational speaker. So I go around telling my testimony. I don't call it my story. It's my testimony from what my faith has allowed me to overcome and now live out, to help others. So that's me, Monica Gilmore.
Well, you have an impressive track record, Monica, and we're looking at your pictures now. Can you tell us if your visually impairedness came from being in the military, or how did it happen?
Yes, I became visually impaired by improvised explosive device in Iraq. So that was the trauma that incurred, this difficulty that I have, these issues, these health issues that I have. And so through rehabilitation, it was tough, of course, that's realistic. However, going through several things, life changes, from a divorce, being a single mother, dealing with all those issues, I found the Blinded Veterans. I was connected with the Blinded Veterans Association, who I mentioned earlier, helped me to get through rehabilitation and and set forth, and it gave me a sense of sensibility that I knew that I could overcome just about anything. And I tell veterans that I come across that may be dealing with difficulties in their life, that they are overcomers. They can overcome anything. They just have to put in the work, put their mind to it, and just be grounded, just be dedicated to doing the work.
That's so amazing. I see that you ski as well. You have to come back and show us some of the videos of some of the activities that are happening with our blind veterans.
Some of those pictures that I sent you are from advocacy work. I have some pictures with our former congressman here. Well, I went to a banquet and got our veterans involved with a lot of community work here in North Carolina. And one of the events our former Congressman G.K. Butterfield was at, I have pictures of events where I've taken veterans up to Crested View Adaptive Sports Center during COVID to get them out the house, get them moving again.
That was wonderful.
Skiing trips, a lot, and kayaking.
Yeah, I see the kayak. Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Now I'm kayaking with a local group called Bridge 2 Sports here in North Carolina. They share a lot of resources nationally too through the MOVE program, and just anyone can get out there and do these things. And a lot, I can say a lot of the organizations that I'm affiliated with, they do recommend that they serve the families of these veterans, not just the veteran. Make sure their families have the resources that can help them, because as you do know, we all know that a lot of our Vietnam veterans just do not have the resources or know the resources that are out there to help them. And that ends up, when we don't share these resources, that increases homelessness.
That's right.
That increases addictions and them not being able to get help. So it's very important. I don't take what I do lightly. It's nothing that was given to me, nothing that was taught. It's just a mission that I feel that God has put me on to help others that have helped me. So that's my way. This is my way of giving back to the veteran community.
You're just amazing. We're just so thankful to have you on and to be able to share your story. I would like to send you an email through Calvin just to let you know what we're doing, and hopefully I'll get your support as well. We're in the process, very, 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 very close to opening up our housing project. So we'd love to have you involved in that, as well as Calvin, for sure. Because we have a lot of veterans that will be able to get employment through our program as well. Especially you want to provide services for our blinded veterans. That's so important, because I have an extensive track record with advocating and dealing with people with disabilities, and technology has gone so far now for some of the amazing equipment that allow an individual who's vision impaired to live a very active life, which your pictures showed. So I really congratulate you. Calvin, you got some input over here, my friend?
Yeah, I would just want to add, Consuelo, that
can you get in front of the camera? You're over here too far. The
other
way. No, the other way. A little bit more to your
right?
left. To your left. Left.
Your
little
other
bit more.
left. Your other left.
Yes.
Now come down.
That's all right.
That's okay, Kevin.
But anyhow, I just wanted to add and thank Monica for coming on and sharing her story. And this month of October is Meet the Blind Month. And month is pretty much set aside for meeting the blind. And this month we are going to have a couple of events. One event is going to be in Lubbock, Texas on next week. We'll be doing some equine therapy.
Ooh-wee.
And then following week, we'll be in Nashville doing adaptive sports convention and introduction to adaptive sports. Following week, we'll be in San Diego, California, competing in a triathlon race, a 1 mile swim, 10 mile, 44-mile bike ride.
Ooh-wee.
Also, convention this year in August, Consuelo, the board of directors and the members for the Blind Veteran Association voted to allow low vision veterans to join our group.
Okay.
We hope that would impact our membership a great deal. There's a lot of veterans out there. In the past, the criteria was you have to be 2,200 in your better eye to be able to join us. But we changed that now to allow low visions to join. So if there's any veteran out there that may think they need our assistance, please go to bva.org and look at the application and fill it out. And we also looking for auxiliary members, family members of blinded veterans that might want to join the auxiliary group. We're trying extensively to try to build this membership up and get the word across the country that there's no need of sitting at home in the dark. Let's come back to the light and live. Thank you.
Amen.
Oh, that is so amazing. Well, we got to have, I want to talk with you more about what we're doing. We have a big event coming up, and I'd love for you to be one of our speakers via Zoom.
Problem. Yeah, no
Okay.
problem. You know it.
That'd be great. I want to share that with you. But thank you so much. Now you have another guest, Calvin.
Well, the other guest is Mashawn Harrison. She was here on the last meeting, and she came back because you asked her to have a little more information about the dog.
Yeah,
site.
for sure.
So, Mashawn, if you want to say anything about the sighted guide dogs.
Yes, I just was elected as the chairman for the Blind Veterans Association of the Dog Handlers Committee. And that's an appointment I take with pride.
Yeah.
When I lost my sight in the military, just like the rest of us, I was denying my issues. And I had I had gone through a divorce and was a single parent. And my son was really active, and he was embarrassed by the cane. So I went to the guide dog school, and I got a dog, and his name was Nico.
Nico, okay.
Nico, yeah, his name was Nico. And unfortunately, Nico, he developed a genetic issue at age 2. We found out, so at age 4, he had to retire. But those dogs, they become attachment. They become our hearts.
Of course.
So I kept Nico, and then this past May 11th, Nico just lost the use of his back legs, and we had to put him to sleep. So,
what type of dog was Nico?
He was a yellow lab.
Oh, okay.
He was yellow. It was afraid of water and couldn't swim. Then that's one exception that people think all dogs can swim and they cannot.
No, I had a what was it? The West Highland White Terrier, who I consider my best friend, Jackie. And Jackie had that same problem. Look, he became paralyzed on the back end. They say dogs that have a lower stature. Anyway, that's what the doctor said. They tend to have that type of disability. It just came all of a sudden. He used to be able to hop up in the bed with me and we play. And then one day he just couldn't get up there. I said, "What's wrong with you, Jackie?" And I took him to the vet, and that's what they said. And it was going to cost an enormous amount of money for surgery. And then we're going to have to teach him, they said, how to use the bathroom again. So I couldn't let him go through all of that. But
well, Ms. Jackie, I'd like to say thank you, because you said he gets in the bed with you. And that's something my Nico always used to do with me. Some people have issues with dogs.
He lay on the foot of the bed. Jackie was cool. And you know what, too? I had taken him to some of our friends that were paralyzed, you know, and lo and behold, he would lay on their legs and stuff, and they could feel, you know, Jackie. He had a marvelous spirit. And for this, till this day, since I just don't want to fall in love with no more dogs, because it's too heartbreaking, like losing your best friend, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, I really thank you. Didn't you have some pictures or something to show us today?
No, I didn't, because I wasn't aware that I would be speaking on it, but I definitely have pictures, because just like Monica, I'm heavily involved in adaptive sports and things. But I wanted to say, I hope I don't put Monica out there, but I wanted to say that one of the reasons that I'm where I'm at today is because of Monica Gilmore. She was our district director. And when I just was new to the BVA and going through my hard times as female veterans, suffering from military sexual trauma, it was people like Monica that stepped up and said, you're going to be okay, and kind of took me under her wing and encouraged me to take on leadership positions. And that's why I feel like I can sit in front of this video and speak freely like I am today, because a year or two ago, Monica could tell you I was a nervous wreck. I couldn't really speak and I couldn't share like I do. And now I'm out there because of that, and because of Calvin, I think I've grown mentally, physically, and emotionally. And I'm able to actually sit here and even speak about Nico, because I used to be in tears with it. And it just, we've learned, we grown together. And I think being visually impaired, minority female, single parents, there's a bond and a Black female veteran that we have that you can share that nobody can break. And
that is so amazing.
And then the other that Monica does, she didn't mention, is her she sends out a lot of Instagrams and videos and prayer reminders, and just she lifts you up, and she doesn't have to speak on the phone. She sends out a lot of things that spiritually lifts us up and keeps us wonderful. And so I just want to bring that out.
This project is, and our organization is led by God. So I really thank you so much, Monica. You girls are just amazing. And of course, our Captain Fool, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't know about you amazing ladies. So
Consuela, also Monica's the reason why I'm here as well. She kind of threw me in the fire as well on the leadership.
Did she really?
Yeah,
well, we got to have Monica involved in what we're doing too, Monica. You're amazing. People, I want our viewers and our listeners to know just how active our blind veterans are, you know, and some of the stories. We've had guests to come on the show, veterans guests, and some of the stories was just amazing. You never would think, you know, going in the military that they come out with so many mental wounds along with physical disabilities. So people should know that. And I'm extremely excited to have had you girls on the show. And I want you back now. Let's don't leave us. We got a lot to learn. People need to learn this, you know?
I did want to share one thing, Miss Consuela. I also write music, and it's through a program called Freedom Sings USA that is available to any veteran to get involved in. And I'll share that information through email with you. But Freedom Sings USA, I've been a songwriter for years now and just got back into it. And what they do is a nonprofit organization that help veterans heal through music. And so we have plenty of musicians. Some are Grammy Award winning songwriters in the top 10 that help compile a song, create a song for the veterans. And so I definitely want to mention Freedom Sings USA. They have a women's veterans trailblazer banquet coming up in Tennessee, Chattanooga, Tennessee, November the 5th. I'll share the information. My Facebook page is Pettis Branch. P as in Paul, E as in egg, TTIS Branch. That's me. You will see my picture up there. And I have a lot of events that are coming up, you know, directed towards veterans and their families. And so everyone can be involved. There's different things that I share. So that's what I wanted to mention.
And I have to send you what we're doing too, because definitely needs your support and involvement.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate what you guys are doing too.
Oh, thank you so much. And you know, you give a great presence. No one can really tell that you even have a visually impaired.
Right. Can I comment on that, Monica? So I have to just say, I'm just amazed at how like dynamic, calm and cool and collective you are, like, and to hear these other two guests or friends of yours just speak on how how helpful you were to just help them get through. I would never have guessed. You look just like, you know, you've handled all of the adversities that life has thrown your way in such a beautiful way, and inspired others to do the same, which is, you know, I had just some thoughts kind of rolling through as, you know, I'm also kind of dealing with some challenges that have resurfaced from my time in the military. And so I may send you an email, Monica,
Please do.
on one of these
I
dark
would love to
nights
talk
where
to you.
it's like, you know, things just surface, and sometimes
Right.
it's like you need someone to, you know, bounce things off of. So
Yes,
I just
definitely
wanted to
understand.
comment on that. I wanted to say that.
And
she's
I
so
like to comment
inspiring. Yeah,
because,
Chuck.
you know, I'm a musician as well, a songwriter. And I've been,
Yeah,
you know, I mean, you know,
you
I,
got to hook up with her.
yeah, and I write songs of every kind. You know, I'm not genre specific, so
Right.
my
Me
music
neither.
is R&B, rock, salsa, reggae, golf, funk,
Okay.
gospel, funk, you name it. I just do it, and you know, and I take
He
that.
has a tell him about your band too.
I have a band, you know, and you know, we're it's called Per Se, PERSE, two words. Like, you
Yeah.
know, I'm talking about them per se, you know. But you know, and I enjoy the music part. You know, that's you know, it's a passion thing, and I teach a class to these
Right.
Okay.
people who, you know, and so you know that's the fun thing. Question I have for all three of you: is there would it or is it offensive to ask? You know, like, is there a percentage of your blindness that they, you know, like, do you have to be like classified or something like that? You know, like somebody say, "Oh, I'm 50% blind," or I'm, you know, is you know that's interesting to me how you know that's done, you know, or is
Or
it
Well, I'll
fair.
offensive?
answer the first part of that.
Mm-hmm.
In general, asking someone, well, how much can you see? That's generally what we get.
Yeah.
The person is either going to respond, I'm completely blind, I can see your shadows, or I'm completely blind and I operate by hearing, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and I have my other senses. They usually tell you generally, but just asking a person, what's your percentage of blindness? They're not going to say, I would just pause for a minute. That's being
Yeah, and that's
realistic.
why I'm
That's
asking.
Yeah.
rude.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you know, because some people outright will say that, you know, oh, I'm
Mhm.
considered.
And then some people get it misconstrued.
Right,
They
right.
think I look well, right?
Right.
Oh, your eyes are not shut up.
Right. You
So
don't
I know
look.
you can see a little bit, you know,
Yeah.
and all of that. That's not true.
Wow.
Mhm.
And so
It's so
that's why I
amazing how
say,
you dealt with that.
yeah, and that's why I
Yeah.
asked the three of you because you know it could be you know
Mhm.
offensive or not, or I guess you know it's kind of like some people will see us working, and you know like for instance, I'm a chairman over here in Long Beach where I live. I'm a chairman of the
Mhm.
Building Code Commission, and during COVID, it's always been you know, Zoom. We were,
Mhm.
or not Zoom, but WebEx. You know, it's all been online.
Right.
And so we recently we back into the office, and so then people see me and they say, "Oh, I didn't know you were in that chair." So it's kind of like you know, they don't know, uh,
Right.
and then you know, and you know, I even have friends that tell me a lot of times, "Man, I forget you in that chair," because I've had people say, "Hey, come to my house," and I get over there and I'm like, "So what are we supposed to do now?" They got scared. Say, "Man, I totally, you know." And
Yeah.
it's how
You're
you carry yourself. And so
such a regular guy, you know, they don't look at
Mhm.
the disability.
right. And that's why, you know, I asked, I said, because, you know, because some people don't know, you know, these little,
Right.
it's, you know, and that's why I asked you, you
And
know.
just being calm and courteous, just
Hmm.
saying, well, I would like to help you if you would like for me to help you, if you could just
Hmm.
tell me, what can you see? And they'll open up and tell you,
Right.
but you just have to be generous. That's just like with anything, right?
Yeah.
Generously speaking.
And as
Right.
well,
Somebody's machine is going off somewhere.
That was mine. I was walking back to here to tell y'all. A
Okay.
lot of folks, I deal with
It's,
it all the time. A lot of folks don't know
what is
that I do.
that?
That
Right,
was just
Anthony,
my earpiece was going.
I mute
Oh,
him.
there you go. It
I
went
just
kind of
muted,
cuckoo.
I muted him.
hey Charles,
So
one thing I want to say.
Okay.
Oh my God, you got to turn that thing off.
I'm going to mute you, Anthony, again, you know.
Okay, Charles, what I want to add is one
Hmm.
thing I try to do is I don't leave home without my long cane.
Hmm.
It's kind of identifies me as a person with a sight impairment. And most of the time people walk up to you and my eyes look normal, and they'll say, I might ask somebody in the store, where's your razor blades, for instance? It's on this shelf over there, so they're pointing. And I have to remind them, hey, I can't see where you're pointing. Can you show me? So sometimes you just have to let people know where you stand on the front end. Just let them know, hey, I'm visually impaired and I need your assistance. But most of the time, if I got my cane with me, it kind of helps identify me. Now, a lot of veterans are kind of apprehensive about using the cane because they think that it makes them vulnerable and to somebody that might want to rob them or something like that.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So a lot of them won't use it, but it's very important that you carry the cane with you because it just identifies you as a person with a sight impairment. And
Right.
but pretty much we can, like Monica was saying earlier, I only see shadows every now and then, but my ear and my hearing and my fingers are my eyes.
Right.
So, yeah, so it's you learn to adapt.
Right.
That's so wonderful.
And then the last thing we are working on, Consuelo, a way to add adaptive descriptive language to some of the pictures that we're sending. And I've talked to Monica about it and some other people. So maybe in the future, we'll have some audio descriptive stuff for those veterans that may be out there listening, that may be prepared like myself.
Oh, that would be excellent. Please do.
Okay.
That's so cool. Well, Monica, I'm just so thrilled to have you on and you as well, Miss Harris. How you pronounce your name, Michonne?
Harrison.
Okay, thank you so much. You guys are just so enlightening, and I can't thank Calvin enough for having you come on. And we need you not make this your last time now, because we want to learn. Our listeners and our viewers need to learn what you all are doing and knowing how effective and how just dynamic the blind veterans are. People don't even hear about blind veterans that much, you know? So we want to have you on more and teach all of us, especially the community. And you know, we've only had our little radio show, our talk radio on for, what is it, less than a year? About a year, huh? And we have over 60-some thousand on YouTube. So we're getting there. And as you heard from our presentation, we're about to go to Spotify and to iHeart. So all those people need to know, you know, what we're doing. So we really want to have you there, okay? So we have learned so much, and thank you so much. We can't thank you enough, huh, guys?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
We can't wait till you come back with the photos and the video.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, Taylor.
No, it's Charles. Okay.
I'm so sorry. You know what? I don't have my script up in front of me.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And you know what happened too is our guest came on just a little late, and that kind of threw me off as well.
Oh, that's okay.
There she is. Hey, girl. You're muted.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are y'all?
Oh, good. I'm so happy to know that you see that you're here. But let's go to Charles. And Charles, you introduced our dear friend, Anthony. Anthony, what happened to you, guy? You got to come back on.
Yeah, here I come.
Here you come? Okay.
All right, let's talk about Anthony. You know, Anthony is a retired U.S. Army major after serving 22 years from active duty reserve and National Guard. He was injured in combat in Operation Iraqi Freedom and in 2004 at Camp Taji, serving with the 1st Cavalry Division, 39th Infantry Brigade, BMMC, Special Operation Infantry, and Quartermaster. On April 24th, he was injured in combat during an attack on Camp Taji, forwarding an operating base. A rocket-propelled grenade was shot into the camp and directly struck the right side of his body. He sustained several life-threatening injuries and later was listed killed in action and placed in a body bag. He was later discovered by a nurse doing her rounds, who realized that he was alive and went for help. Anthony was respiration, but was given the wrong blood, RH factor during the process. This placed him into a 62-day coma. And when he awakened, he discovered he had several injuries: PTSD, TBI2, loss of right arm, right hip, right kidney, a portion of his intestines, vision in right eye, hearing, broken jaw in 3 places, abdomen muscles, and he had a T7 spinal cord damage and amnesia. Man, I'm getting tired just naming them. After 2 years of recovery, he went on to get involved in sports and later was relieved of his duties as chief of police and forced into retirement because of unjustifiable medical reasons. He turned back to martial arts and reopened his own martial arts academy, and today fosters a worldwide martial arts organization and is a pastor and evangelist and motivational speaker. Now you can talk all you want to, Major.
All right, there you go.
Yeah,
It's another dynamic role model we got on. We got some dynamic people. You know
Well, that's
that.
right.
Well, take it away, Anthony.
Well, before I got cut off, I was going to let a lot of people don't know that I'm blind in my right eye and have partial vision in my left eye, and so I'm part of the blind veterans group. We do 4-track skiing, so I want to go skiing with you sometime. I learned how to 4-track. We just have some guys got us down that mountain. Pretty cool. How about that? So.
And you getting ready to do something real super duper. What's starting? When is it? Tomorrow?
For all week, we're preparing for what's called a climb to the Empire State Building, and so we'll be doing a lot of interviews and stuff. I'm trying to bring awareness to veterans with disabilities that you don't have to just stay on the couch. You can keep moving. It helps with I use athletic events and stuff like that to get guys off the couch to deal with PTSD and deal with the disabilities that they have, and all that good stuff to help them keep going in life. Let them know that regardless of what you're going through, to never give up, never quit, and just keep pushing forward.
That's so wonderful. Well, you're doing this, the Empire State Building, and what else are you doing?
I just there's in right 3 months ago, I was inducted into the Renee Perry Hall of Fame in martial arts. I'm the first disabled athlete to be inducted into that Hall of Fame, and receiving a 10th degree black belt.
10th degree.
That's right. 10th degree. You go. Is that amazing or what? Got some heroes on the show. What you talking about? That is so cool. God bless you. And you were saying, what about your other groups that you're involved in? And didn't you have some pictures of some of the classes that you teach?
Yeah, but somehow that my other phone went off. But that's my profile picture right there. That's that bad boy right there.
Yeah, bad boy with a cross. Okay.
Okay. Oh, look.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that was at the Arabian Federation Knights Hall of Fame. That happened earlier in February when I was inducted into that Hall of Fame, and that was the Superfoot Wallace Hall of Fame that I got inducted into this year. And that's the book right there that came out with my big toe trying to hold it down so you can see it.
That's
all right now.
See,
so silly.
That's what happens when you visually impaired. Sometimes you don't look at the whole picture.
Would you say your big toe holding it down? Though? That's so funny.
And for those that don't know, like a lot of times people get my colors mixed up. I don't know if y'all can see the shoes that I'm wearing.
Yeah.
We started an all abilities martial arts group that deal with autism. And a lot of times they get our colors confused with the LGBTQ community. But that's the autism. The autism groups that we got started where we got kids with autism that's actually learning martial arts. And I took the first all ability group to competition. We finished dead last, but all the kids had fun though.
That's
There
all
you
right.
go.
That's what matters.
Is that some of your group there, right?
That's my Tai Chi group that I introduced it for a lot of people don't know I was the first person to introduce Tai Chi to the Veterans Affair and got martial arts installed in the VA program with recreational therapy, and it's starting to take off around. And
It's your
that's
letter from Biden, right? President Biden?
Yeah, that was my letter from Joe Biden.
Can you turn that around, Charles?
I can't turn it on right this second. Let me see.
Rotate. Is it rotate in there somewhere?
All right, here, let's go. No, wrong way.
We got martial arts into the
There we
VA.
go.
Everybody's pretty much doing Tai Chi and yoga in the VA now. We also got the Arkansas Freedom Fund started here in Arkansas, and that's going to be our guest next month, the CEO of the Arkansas Freedom Fund. And with all those different groups that we got going, and I hope all the veterans on here are part of Operation Rebound and the Challenge Athlete Foundation.
Oh yeah,
We are.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, we under Nico Mangalanga, we helped get that kicked off. We felt that with the Challenge Athlete really wasn't focusing on veterans. They were just focusing on disabilities. So we were able to launch that Arkansas Freedom Fund. So all those volunteer hours, I ended up
Are
getting
those
that
gentlemen
award from
disabled? Are those gentlemen veterans? The ones that you just passed by?
the one on the right is a veteran. And for all y'all brothers and sisters, we got an organization we started in 2013 called Camp Alam Nakab Military Fraternity Organization.
Is that what this is?
That's what that is. That's the group. So all y'all military folks that never got a chance to be part of a fraternity, we got one for you now.
Okay. That's so cool. That is so remarkable.
The background is me at the golf event with we got a group called Defenders of Freedom out of Texas.
Wow.
And one of the reasons I started doing all these organizations and getting them started because they were doing a lot of stuff for 9/11 veterans, but they were leaving out all the other veterans.
Oh, wow.
So like we had a Wounded Warrior Project, but you had to be a 9/11 veteran to be part of it. But you end up leaving out the Vietnam veterans, the Korean veterans, and other veterans. So we started launching organizations that can help all veterans, not just 9/11 and out.
Right.
That is so cool. Well, we really thank you for so much for being a part of our team and for what you're doing. Is such an inspiration, and all of you all are just absolutely amazing. You can't cry about not having what you say your head hurt or your finger hurt or whatever when they got some superheroes out here that's making a huge difference. That's what inspires me. I'm not a veteran, but I've been advocating for them for many years. I think, did you see my track record that I sent you?
Oh, yes, it looked real good.
yeah.
I've been doing it a long time, but I've enjoyed every moment, And we're about to take off with a major project. And I want to thank you so much for offering to come and be a speaker. You'll be in that meeting on the 14th too. So that'd be great. You and Nico, my two heroes. And of course, Calvin and our new girlfriends, Monica and Miss Harrison. You girls are outstanding too. Thank you so much. Okay, we're moving right along here, so I don't get the next one. Okay, Kathy Cash wasn't here today. She had a prior engagement, but she does have a guest that Taylor's going to read a little bit of her bio for us.
Yes, ma'am. So today's guest is U.S. Navy veteran Rocio Palmero, BWOP program coordinator. She joined the U.S. Navy at 17. and reported to her first duty station, the base formerly known as NAS Miramar, working on E-2C Hawkeyes and corrosion control and on the flight deck. Her reservist years were spent in supply at Akron Reserve Center at a construction battalion in Port Hueneme. Finishing her reserve enlistment at Phil Beach, transporting ammunition and explosives from the magazines onto ships, as well as her role as admin leading petty officer. Rocio is a native Angelino who graduated at the age of 17, and she is a 14-year Navy veteran who served 2 years on active duty and 12 years as a reservist. This experience has given her firsthand knowledge of the struggles that a female service member faces, as well as an insight in ways to support and encourage other veterans. She received her AA in Social Studies from Glendale Community College, a Bachelor's of Arts in American Studies from Mount St. Mary's College, and studied for her Master's of Public Administration at Cal State University. Hey, my alma mater. Rocio has a diverse work history with concentrations in education and social work. She is currently the program coordinator for Women Vets on Point U.S. Vets Patriotic Hall. She is a co-chair of the Women's Veterans Working Group of Los Angeles Veterans Collaborative, assistant chaplain for American Legion Post 43, and board chairwoman of Sarge's Resource Center. She brings a passion, focus, and personal perspective that helps her connect with all veterans, but especially with female veterans. Rocio sees her service to others as a calling and privilege, knowing the importance of finding ways to work together in order for all to benefit. Rocio currently lives in San Fernando Valley with her son, 4 dogs, and 2 cats. Take it away, Rocio.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me.
Hi,
Yes.
Rocio.
Thank you.
She and I go back a long time, huh, Rocio?
Yes.
I love it. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Tell us more about what you're doing.
So, first of all, I just want to let you, I did have 2 new additions to my family. I just had 2 tortoises that just hatched, and I had to let's just put it out there. I know I had this big backyard. That was my dream. That's always been my dream to have tortoises in my backyard. I do not know.
Oh my goodness, really?
The big ones or the little ones?
They're babies. They're like, they just hatched. So both of them fit on my hand because they're like a week old. They just hatched.
Are they going to grow big?
I've seen some that are huge, but they only live until 60. So let's see what happens.
Oh, well.
I know, it's like most kids leave most parents leave jewelry or like furs or cars to inherit for their children. I have tortoises. I don't that's what I got. So better than nothing.
But you're gonna leave to them. That's so funny. All right. But you must know Patricia Kelly Jackson, huh?
I'm having lunch with her on Tuesday. I love
my
that
God. Tell her Consuela said, hey, I've been knowing her forever.
She's
been a guest speaker at many of our events. Charles, you remember her when she helped us with the event that we had at the historical sports arena years ago. Pat was one of the guest speakers. You muted, Charles. Wee-hoo. Charles, I'm talking to you. He can't hear it. He's muted. Anyway, go ahead.
I had my screen was minimized trying to get stuff together here. Yeah, I don't remember her
Patricia
from back then, but was she been on the show?
No, we're gonna get her on though. Rocio gonna get her on, and so is Dr. Cass. But you know, when you still tell her, I said, hey,
I will
know what we're doing.
Absolutely.
But anyway, so finish telling us. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No problem. So I am, I think, newer in the community, and one of the issues that happens with a lot of women veterans is that they don't identify as veterans, either because they didn't have a really positive, they've had a couple of negative. I'm not gonna say not too many positive, but those 2 or 3 negative
Right.
instances are enough to kind of just take that taste out of your mouth.
That's what Martha told us about as well.
Yeah, or going into the VA, you know, people doubting your service, or just, or you not even really feeling like a veteran because you weren't in combat, you know?
Oh, gosh, you guys have the same stories.
Yeah, because that's the reality of our time in service. You know, every decade or every generation has a different issues, you know. The women who were in World War II, like they were not even really allowed full-time. Like they were like called volunteers up until 1947, when Truman signed a bill that said, okay, now we have permanency. And even then, women were not freely given their privileges or their benefits like men were, right? And even as recently as 2 years ago, I was told, my doctor recommended that I go to the VA to get my immunizations, my COVID shots. And I was like, but why? And she said, well, you have asthma and you have bronchitis. And these were because of the chemicals I was exposed to in the military. So she said, you don't want to take that chance. She's like, it's up to you, but at least we can control it. So I said, okay, I'll roll the dice. I'll go in. And these nurses, I remember standing in line and these nurses kept passing me by. And I kept saying, hey, I'm done with my paperwork.
Okay.
I need paperwork.
Right.
And when I got to the front of the line, when I got up to the front of the line, this woman said, who are you with? I said, I'm with myself. I said, I'm a Navy veteran. She's like, well, what makes you eligible to get your COVID test? I said, girl, don't even. I was like trying.
She probably wasn't even a veteran herself.
She wasn't even American citizen. Like she had an accent, so I know she's not even from here. Which I was just like, oh my, are you? So anyways, I just my doctor. I'm at high risk, and I work to support mental health. You know, the mental health in other veterans. You know, and so. She's like, well, I don't know if there's going to be enough for you. I don't know if, you know,
wow.
Are you serious?
So that's okay. That's okay. The minute I walked in, I did see somebody with a badge who's also a veteran. And I said, I just want you to know that this happened. I said, this is why women do not come to the VA. I said, that woman had no right to speak to me this way.
Right.
I said, 14 years of service. I said, she had no right to speak to me this way. I said, and I just need somebody to be aware that this is the way that this person talked to me.
Oh,
and
that's so horrible.
Yeah, like but it's and that's 2 years ago. This isn't like 1947. This is like 2018.
I got one question for you regarding that.
Yes.
Did you ask somebody to hold your earrings and give me some Vaseline?
In my mind, I'm like, hold my hoop. Somebody hold my hoop. And I was like, you know what?
No, she did give me some Vaseline. You gonna learn now. I don't advocate violence. I'm just, you know.
No, but you know what? I grew up in South Central. I grew up in, you know, I graduated high school the year of the LA riots.
Oh wow! I feel old. I did the LA riots. Oh my god!
So I'm like, but I remember I went to LA High. Our graduation was postponed by 2 weeks, and I was so itching to get up out of LA already. Right? Like I was like itching, and I couldn't leave until I had my high school diploma. And my mom was like, well, I don't know if I'm really going to sign over, you know, that your parents have to sign you in when you're 17. And she's like, I don't know if I'm really going to do that, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my gosh, please let something happen so I can go.
And the riots broke out.
But then, okay, so yeah, that was funny. The riots broke out. Everything was postponed for 2 weeks. Ashes. I remember ashes from the swap meets burning, were falling on my mom's car.
Oh.
The swap meets I used to buy my my vans at where that was like that was the one. Those were some of the ones that were on the news where the men were on top defending them with AK-47s.
Yeah,
it was real. People don't realize like how real. For me, it was real because I couldn't take the bus. I couldn't graduate high school. We were scared to leave the house. There were people across the street. But yeah, so I was just like, heck yeah, I'm up out of Dodge. I mean. My son, when he turned 17, I'm like, there is no way he would be ready to go into the military. He's just built different. He's just built different.
That's Martha's son too.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Yeah,
you guys sound like carbon copies of each other.
Right? I guess that, yeah, but it's again that same era, and then our children are probably from the same, like they're a different era. And even now, I'm like, Sebastian, like just join something, just be a reservist. Like there's benefits, like just do. And he's all like, I don't know if I really need to. And I'm like, you know what? And
How old is he?
He's 24.
Okay, wow. That's amazing. No, but you tell him just join something.
I get at first I was like, no, only Navy. But now I'm like, okay, you can join Army. Like I won't hold it against you. Like that's fine. We were like the OGs, right? Like the Army and the Navy were the OGs. Like that's fine.
Oh my God, that was me too. Rosio.
Teresa, where were you? Both.
Navy and Army National Guard as well.
Oh, really?
Parents signed it at 17 as well. And actually, I was in uniform during the riot, so we were out there. And you said you were just graduating high school. Oh my God, so old. But I am old. I'm 52, so I am old. But
I'm not old. I refuse to accept that word. I'm not old. I'm like I was at Knott's Scary Farm on Friday. My girlfriend and I were chaperoning her kids. We got on 4 different rides. We went through a couple of mazes. Like I am not old. I refuse.
That's right.
And I bought these tamales, and they put chili and cheese on these tamales. And I did not throw up, and I did not have any heartburn. So there.
Those are my favorite. They're tamales de rajas. That's what they're called. Oh, they're beautiful. They're amazing.
Yeah,
that's so
these are the experiences, right? Like these are the things that I look back on. And you know, all kidding set aside, you know, I did experience military sexual trauma. I did experience PTSD, but I didn't know what that was. Right. But I was going through stuff, and I went to one of the first times I went somewhere. I went to the unemployment office because I had a contract, and I lost my contract because the organization I was working for lost their contract. So, and it was October, and everybody's looking at retail, and I was like, oh no, I'm not working no retail. Like, please, I am not.
Exactly.
And so I went to the unemployment office. I was like, on Slauson and Crenshaw. I walked into the office,
I know the area.
I need to talk to the veteran representative. And I was blessed to speak to Ted Tenario, who is now the president of the Native American Veterans Association. He referred me over to Pat Hall, which is where I work now, is out of Patriotic Hall. And I spoke to Stephanie Stone.
Oh, she's amazing.
Stephanie, she's a girlfriend
amazing.
too. She's been on the show.
She has, or she hasn't?
Yeah. Tell her I said, hey, we're looking for her to come back.
Okay, I will. I'll tell her, because I want to have lunch with her again. You know, I always have lunch with people like Patricia Jackson Kelly and Stephanie Stone, because I want to bounce ideas off. Like, I'm not embarrassed to ask for help. What can I do better? How can I benefit from your knowledge and I'm blessed to be surrounded by these godly women, these women who just, their heart is for service. They have experiences, and they're advocating for other women just like I am. And so, these experiences were really bad. I think only the last unit was one where I did not experience any sexual harassment. And because the commander was a woman, and I think that had a lot to do with it.
Oh, heck yeah.
You know, she followed, everything was like right by the rules. So people were not going to step out of line. But when I walked in, and Ted Tenario referred me to Patriotic Hall to speak to Stephanie Stone, and I was able to get my benefits. And I went back, when I was getting my master's, I was speaking to my old counselor. I ran into her because I was taking classes. CSUN had an offsite. So I was taking them at Glendale College, my alma mater, right? So I went and I ran into her, and I said, oh yeah, this and this happened. And apparently I had PTSD, and I suffered from depression, and I didn't know that they were together. She said, oh, I always knew something was wrong with you. I just didn't know why you would come into my office crying. And this is the person who would sign off my paperwork for me to get my GI Bill. And I didn't lose my stuff. I did not lose my stuffing right then and there. But in time since then, like even now, it makes me emotional that she saw that I was suffering and she did nothing about it.
Yeah.
So this is why I want to continue to have these conversations. Or my son, my son is fine. Like, he's 6'5", he's like 290. He has a great job. He is a good man. Like, I am really proud of my son.
Right.
he still did not have the best mom that he deserved. And had I gotten my help earlier, had I known that something was off, you know, I knew I didn't feel normal, but I didn't know why. And those are years that I can't get back. You know,
what kind of help did you get where you just so great now?
So they were like, go to the VA. I'm like, no, I'm not going to the VA. Right.
Okay.
Like even up until probably last year, I still got anxiety driving to the West LA campus. And
Really?
so
Why? Come to Long Beach.
That's
no,
right.
no, I live in the valley. I go to North Hills now.
Okay.
Like, got glass.
Come on out to Long Beach.
walls.
What area do you live in the valley?
I live in Arleta. It's an exclusive one zip code area. But,
Where is it?
It's called Arleta. But
Oh,
it's
okay.
surrounded by Pacoima, Sun Valley.
Wow, you live that far?
Yeah.
She lives by me.
No, she don't. She lives
Marshall
by
out
me.
I'm
in
an LA girl. Like my
I'm
personal cell phone is a 213 number. That's like OGLA. Like
Me too. I have a 213 as well.
46 forever.
I'm in Granada Hills, so we're not that far from each other.
Like you should come have dinner with me and Patricia Jackson Kelly.
Where?
Here, we'll talk offline. We'll talk offline.
Okay, great.
But yeah, so there was this. So I went in.
Martha, you got to go with me.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, Martha, because you're in the valley too, right?
Yeah, I'm in Burbank.
Oh, y'all valley girls, you know.
That's right. Teresa, you got to go
Fitness
too.
is there. My church is there. Probably
Okay.
So anyways, back to the story. So
Okay.
I got help. And so they were like, okay, you need to go to therapy. I'm like, I'm not going to therapy. I don't want to go to therapy. And they're like, you need to do something. And I'm like, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. Like, that's why I just kept saying,
I'm going to take my earrings off in a minute. You keep on.
I know, because as much as I'm like loving of people, there's still this undertone of like,
I know.
You're late. You can't do because you're late.
I wish you would. That's like, oh, I think that's gonna be probably on my gravestone, along with let's see what happens. There's gonna be I wish you would, right?
Uh-huh. And they're gonna have a pair of earrings on there too. You know?
I know.
That's so funny.
Earrings and a bottle of Vaseline. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I give
What
you
does
credit for
Vaseline
that.
do? What does the Vaseline do, Charles?
Tell them, ladies.
So when you punch somebody,
Light 'em up. I know. Let me tell you.
it's like it's easier on your wrist when you go to punch. Like
Oh God.
And you know, like fighters, they do that. You know, because then you don't get like the cut slide instead of cutting. That's a whole different story now. You know.
Well, I'll bring it back.
Anthony, you know about the Vaseline, right?
Martial arts.
No,
Anthony disappeared on that. You know. Oh, there you go.
Anthony.
Yeah, I know about the Vaseline. That to make that punch slip real fast.
That's so funny.
What'd I say?
You guys.
And what did I say?
So what do you do now though at the Patriotic Hall? I know that you said what all is your
So I am the program coordinator for Women Vets on Point. It's one of only 2 programs for just women in California. And I think most states, they don't have that. We do have, like US Vets has one in Phoenix. That's like, it's, you know, you have you have beds, like you have a shelter. And there's one in, I believe in Hawaii as well. But that's it. Like we don't have a lot of.
How often do you meet?
I'm sorry, what?
How often do you meet up?
With who?
Okay, you say you're there with your organization. I thought you guys some whole meetings and stuff like that for women veterans, or you just a resource?
You know what? We're a resource. What we provide is mental health support. We provide referral services out to other agencies. We have 2 groups. We have a weekly wellness, and we're starting up a clinical one. Probably about 2 weeks. We're going to be probably mid-October, late October. We're going to start another one. And it's important because what I love, and we used to do a lot of recreational stuff, but now Zoom is kind of not for parties anymore, because now people are meeting in person, which that's our natural, that's, you know, what we need is to be able to have other human contact. So that's,
Right.
but we are just, we meet on Wednesdays at 10 o'clock. And then we're going to start meeting on Fridays at 10 o'clock. And one of the groups I had before that I sundown because I wanted to try to experiment on other groups that people might need. One of them was Mothers in Boots. Mothers in Boots.
Oh,
Okay.
I know about Mothers
Where
in
we-
Boots.
Yeah, because we wanted to make sure that when, like, we talked about these things, like what happens, like how does this affect our children? How does our PTSD or our MST affect children? And I remember I wasn't able to go with my unit when they went over to the sandbox, but there was some of us, those of us that stayed behind with our kids, we were kind of judgy of those that went on and left their kids behind. They were like, how could you not do that? It's your service. And then we were like, how could you do that to your kids?
Exactly.
We don't talk about it like with words, but there's always this underlying judgment. Like all of us have it. Like mothers are judgy about other mothers, which is like horrible. But when you're military, like that's another level. That is.
Oh yeah, we had several segments on. Martha's did one as well regarding the impact that children have when the parent, especially the mother, has to go away or serve. So I totally know what you're talking about and how it traumatizes the kids, and the mothers don't want to leave a baby. They're babies. You don't want to leave your babies.
No, and then you hear stories like Keisha Dixon. Keisha Dixon, I don't know if you guys are aware of her story.
Yeah, she was on our show.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so you know. So you know her story about how she was found unfit. She was overseas and found to be unfit because she was serving her country.
Oh wow, yeah. She told us about that. That was terrible.
Yeah,
Well,
and the contrary, when it's a man, when it's another side, it's a man. How are men treated? How are men treated when they're pushing the stroller? How are men treated when they go running with their babies? But it's just like they're like, oh my gosh, great job, you guys. But it's just like, well, damn, we do it all the time. Like, when are we gonna get ours? When are we gonna get ours?
Yeah, exactly. You're so right.
You're getting it.
You're getting it now. That is so good.
Well, and Rocio, like, really, needs to be said that, she's stepping into this, really important role to bring awareness. But then also, like, the spotlight becomes on you, right, Rocio? And as a woman, taking the lead in the city of LA for really just trying to amplify the voices of other women vets. It just really takes someone like you with, your sense of humor and your charisma and those experiences that you share, because otherwise it's not real. If you can't connect by your own experiences and having had your own stories to share with others, and I know Teresa, we'll talk a little bit about here next. I've been trying to kind of connect and reconnect because Consuela has also been trying to help solidify this movement of women veterans, right? And we see and hear
combat boots and lace,
and just how we all have such similar stories, right? About not fully identifying as women veterans or as veterans to the 10th degree, and just not, like you said, having the best of experiences all too often, or having left kind of with a negative taste in our mouth because something didn't go our way, and all of the isms that we've dealt with. So it's beautiful to kind of see this organically kind of happen, and we've been sort of piecemealing it together because I was trying to get Teresa back on, and Teresa's really active with PVA and the women of PVA, but I have a really good resource that I think can help kind of gel everybody together, and it's a national support from a foundation in New York City that's trying to put some resources together for women, and they're interested in the women in LA, and it's kind of this beautiful thing that's just happening organically. So I want to kind of speak with you. Maybe you and I can go to lunch or dinner sometime and just talk about how we can. I know. Yeah.
Don't leave me out.
No, you too. And I'm saying, like, the combat boots and lace from Operation Confidence, the women of PVA, and then also what the city of LA is doing, because Rocio is very instrumental in moving that forward, just with the whole city, at vets.
I'm going to tell you a secret. Like, not a lot of people know this, but I'm going to share with you guys. So I was always obsessed with politics, and it came a lot from my birthday, my 10th birthday was the same day as Reagan's second election in 1984. And it was also the year that Mary Lou Retton was the first American to get a 10. Whitney Houston, Cyndi Lauper and Madonna were topping the charts. They topped the Grammys. They were getting the top awards. The 1984 Olympics had two amazing runners. Something Casey Joyner Kersey.
Yeah, Jackie Joyner Kersey and her sister.
And then there was and her sister-in-law, right? Like they were like on top of the world. It was also the first year that we had women playing softball as an Olympic sport. And those are the first women who really benefited from Title 14 that made sports.
Title 14.
Yeah, the equity for sports. And so I feel like Forrest Gump. You know how Forrest Gump?
Yeah, we know Forrest Gump.
Things, and it was just like all these historical things have happened. I graduated high school the year of the riots. It was the year after the tailhook scandal was exposed, where 7 men were raped and sexually harassed, along with I forgot, like 70 some odd women, like 80 women, something like that. And nobody listened to this officer, and so she went to the press. Nobody was doing anything in the military. And so I got to see that. I got to see the first female naval pilots. I got to see, I was in 6th grade, the first woman to go into space. I got to, you know what I mean? So my life has just been these historics. So how can I not give back, right? Like there's a scripture I love. It's out of Luke 7:47. I tell you her sins are many, she's been forgiven. And that's why she shows so much love. Because you know what I mean? Like that's, I've been exposed and I've been given grace and I get to see all of these things. So how can I not give it back?
That's right. So same here.
I get to have, last year I was nominated for Veteran of the Year for San Fernando Valley by Luz Rivas's office. And it was ironic because 6 months later I got a speeding ticket right in front of her office. I shouldn't have a driver's license. I should have a pilot's license. And so, but I was one of only 4 people nominated, and the other 3 were women or were men. I was the only woman that's being represented. And so I'm telling you this because I hope this is okay. I hope this isn't like a violation, but somebody reached out to me from Nuri Martinez's office. She is the president of the Los Angeles City Council, the second hit Latino, and then like the first woman.
Right. Yeah, I'm quite aware of that.
Deal. And so the woman who reached out to me, I'm like, who is this coming out to me at Facebook Messenger? Like, what's going on here? And so she's telling me this conversation, and apparently people know who I am. And it's not because I'm making it about myself, but I use myself. I use my experiences to help and advocate for other women. And even my girlfriend, somebody did have the audacity like a couple of weeks ago to say to me, some of the things you do to benefit your program, but some of the things you do just to benefit yourself. And I was
no.
What?
Yeah, she's one of the things
but I checked myself. I know, but I had to check myself. I'm like, am I really doing that? Am I really doing that? And I have this tribe of amazing women like Patricia Jackson Kelly, like Kathy Cash, like Amy Bravo, who is the director of the Los Angeles Veterans Collaborative. And she's a freaking superstar. We just had her speak at one of our events last week. We also have Krishna Flores, who is an OIF Marine Corps veteran who also experienced MST. You know, I have them to give me counsel, and if I'm off, they'll call me out. You know, but one of them, it was Amy Bravo, who says to me, "I've seen you trigger yourself to get the message out and share with other people." And it's true. Like sometimes it takes me 2 or 3 days to come off of my trigger. It takes me a few days to come off of it, even though I'm taking medication, even though I have therapy, even though I connect with Wounded Warrior Project once a week for 20 minutes, I still get triggered. And sometimes, and it affects my sleep. It affects my teeth because I'm constantly grinding, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Nobody feels the way I used to feel any longer than they have to. So that 22, those estimated of how many people, how many veterans kill themselves every day. So that number is 0, or at least there's 0 women, you know, on there. Like these women, like they need to hear this message. And I don't care. I don't care that I have to share these horrible things that have happened to me. And I don't care that it sets me off. You know, I do not want anyone else to feel like I did any longer than that. And then the sacrifice of my son, who had to deal with me and all like my stuff, and he didn't even realize what was wrong with me because I didn't. And yet, I never had my son taken away by children's services. Like, he was never physically abused or you know what I mean? Like nothing. He never. I did everything I could to provide for him, and now we have a pretty cush life. But had it not been, again, I call Tenario and Stephanie Stone my veteran godmothers. I call them my veteran godmothers, my godparents, because they changed my life. You know.
Right. Well, tell Stephanie I want her back on the show. She's a good girl, you know. And of course, Pat. I haven't seen Pat in years, Trisha, but I know she's still very active.
So let me tell you about Miss Patricia Jackson, and I'm sure you know this, but here's the thing that I just adore about this woman, that she's like walking history. She doesn't talk too much about her past. She talks about her present. Good for her, right? Like good for her. Some of us talk too much about our past, and she does not. But you ask her a question and she'll answer it, you know, about her experiences. And, you know, she's walking history. And she's a walking example of overcoming. Being a woman of color in the military in 1976.
Right.
I can't even, you know. And so whenever I introduce her to someone, I give like her resume, her PVC, and she's all like, I need to hire you to be my PR person. I'm like, you don't have to. It's like an honor and a privilege, really.
That's, you know, so good.
And so I get to have women like that around me. Like, oh my, like what a blessing. Like I can't even imagine. There was no other time in my life when I was been surrounded by such greatness like I am now.
Oh, that's so precious. Well, you send her my love and tell her we want her to come on. And of course, Stephanie, you know, girlfriend. And who's the new director there now?
Jim Zenner.
Oh, Jim is? Oh my God.
Amazing. Yes.
Jay-Z. I love me some Jay-Z.
Yeah, I know Jim he was actually a guest speaker at one of our events, at the one we had at the Queen Mary. So I know him well too. Tell him I said, hey. All right. Thank you so much. You've been so inspiring. We just so happy.
And we're going to be in touch with you, Rocio.
For real.
Yes.
For real.
You know, Anthony, you should put together a martial arts
for women.
Zoom for the women.
Yeah.
Can't you do that?
Yeah, we have a program set up for that. Just get in touch with us and we can send you the curriculum to help with. We mostly call it Women's Self-Defense, and we teach it through Carl McGraw, so that they can learn how to have self-defense. And we also teach Tai Chi with it to help with women that went through different essay stuff.
Right.
Did I say that right?
What did she say?
MST? Went through the MST?
No, essay, sexual assault.
Oh, yeah, that's the MST. Military sexual. The military sexual trauma.
You know why, Anthony? That's important to make that differentiation, because MST happens not when it's the person who's doing the violating is military. It happens when the person who's being violated is military. So that's why that's why the letters are important, because that identifies if you were it identifies that you were in the military when it happened.
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
In person, but I'm usually in a wheelchair. I don't know if you remember.
Yes, I remember.
Okay, you're amazing.
I saw you. I got happy. I'm like, hey, I remember.
I've
we're friends on Facebook.
Say again?
We're friends on Facebook.
Yes, I know. Honored, thank you.
Yeah.
But you can say hello to Stephanie Stone. I've known her for 10 years. She knew me before my spinal cord injury. Jim Zenner as well.
Wow, we all know the same people.
Because amazing people.
We roll deep. We roll deep. Here's the deal. We have the highest concentration of veterans in all of the United States. Like I thought Diego did, but no, we do. And so we have a lot, and we're deep, right? We're deep. We roll deep. But the group that is actively working in this field it's like this big, and we're constantly crossing each other. Like I'm the assistant chaplain at the American Legion, right? And Stephanie Stone is a member there. I didn't know. And then Jim Zenner works in the same building, and he's not part of that American Legion, but yet he and I don't even know how we crossed paths, but they all knew who I was when I hit the ground. I was a late bloomer, and all these people have been around for a long time. And so they all have this experience with each other. And I'm just like, I'm just going to go to this party. I'm going to go to this event. I got invited to this event. I'm just, because my thing is, well, let's see what happens. You know, what's the worst that can happen? Let's see what happens. And when you make those, like last night, we went to the MMA fight down in Long Beach. There was a big event for MMA, and I used to box. I boxed for 3 years, so I like me some, you know. I guess
I knew it.
Told you, Charles.
I knew it.
That's what I wanted to
Bingo. I've been. Thank you. Yes, I got it right.
You got it, Charles.
I didn't want to say nothing out loud. I was trying to keep it to myself.
See, I knew it.
She looked like she had some hands.
You know what? She got the Vaseline. She probably sponsoring them. No, they probably sponsoring you.
I got 2 pairs of gloves. I got 2 pairs of gloves I'm looking at right now.
And she wears loose. She don't wear the earrings you got to put through. She wears the clip-ons. So
you know what? I wear diamond studs because guess what? I'm a queen. That's why. I'm a
There you go.
All right.
There you go. I love it.
Well,
you've been so great. It's been such a pleasure.
Thank you.
We want you to come back and think about a segment, because you got some dynamite women that should come on and share their stories too.
That would be my pleasure. Let me work on that. Yes,
that's a must. You got to do that, girl.
Yes, well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to do that. Thank you for allowing me to be on here. Y'all are amazing. Thank you so much. I love watching your episodes on YouTube.
Oh, thank you. And you've been such a added person to our have you involved more than just coming on this one time. You know, I reached out to you on Facebook and invited your girlfriend.
I know you did, and I'm like, what did I say? I was like, Kathy, what's this all about? And she's all like, well, what happened was, and I'm like, okay, what happened was, that's how that went.
Yeah, that's so cool. Well, okay.
All right, we'll talk to you soon, you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rocio.
See you later. We're going to keep in touch. I'll reach out to you.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, Martha, introduce our sweetheart, Teresa. It's on you.
Absolutely. Yes. So long awaited introduction for our very Teresa's is a special person to us. Teresa Gaspar has served as a cryptologist in the United States Navy and as a combat medic in the California Army National Guard. She was a peer support specialist for Volunteers of America and a veteran navigator for the Goodwill until her spinal cord injury. She was boots on the ground as a battle buddy, providing support in locating homeless veterans and supporting homeless veterans in Los Angeles, and currently received the Paralyzed Veterans of America's Dwayne Taylor Member Award for her volunteer service in 2022. Teresa is also active and helping on the Food Support Committee, and which we are also going to name to the Member Support Committee, because again, if a person has a need for food, then you can kind of guess that there's housing needs and, you know, financial needs kind of right behind it. So kind of broadening that up to the Member Support Committee, where they'll address all the basic needs, food, shelter, and housing. So Teresa's been very active in that, hence the award she received from PVA National. And Teresa was also elected as the new treasurer for this year's PVA's Board of Directors. So Teresa is going to be given the important task of leading the PVACC's financial committee, which Charles is also a cross-pollination of this beautiful, and I'll talk about that here too in a second, because there's a connection to all of us here, a bigger connection. Now,
well,
so
PVA
Charles
is Paralyzed Veterans of America, ladies and gentlemen.
And the California chapter. So
California chapter.
We're physically located in the Long Beach, VA, although our membership stretches from San Diego all the way up to Bakersfield. Is it Bakersfield? Yeah, because then we have our partners in the north, in the Bay Area, for the second of the 3 PBAs inside the state of California. So, and Charles is also a member of the financial committee. So we're doing some really good work over here at PBA.
Yeah, he's on the board there, you know.
And Charles is also a very important board member, and Consuela was very instrumental in helping get me connected over to the PBA, because I was doing the other stuff with volunteering with Operation Confidence and the women veterans. And, you know, this is just the beautiful cross-pollination of what it looks like when people have the genuine care and concern for veterans in their hearts, right?
Right.
Whether we work and volunteer, or work and volunteer, as most of us do, right? We're working in some capacity, but that we're also volunteering, whether it's, you know, like I mentioned, the Teresa will take phone calls from homeless veterans that are in our membership that need someone to talk to, right? When we hear this great news of the suicide rates going down, it's an example of how all of us are doing our own little parts. And like, whether it's Monica taking a phone call from one of the members in her, you know, in her area that are dealing and struggling with issues, or Teresa taking a phone call from a homeless veteran here in LA, or, you know, Anthony and in your connection with Nico, you know, that is all of what.
And Calvin and Miss Harris with the blind veterans.
You know,
I mean,
helping,
it's
you know,
just
outside of that, the 9 to 5 hours, right? When crisis never conveniently happens. So I just want to say that this is, you know, this is what it looks like. This is what it feels like. And we heard from Rocio talking about, you know, what she's doing in LA, in the city. And it's just a beautiful thing to be a part of, because it's all of what has to happen for us to really start chipping away at all of those statistics, right? Whether it's homeless veterans, suicide, you know, rates going down, all of those, you know, things that are happening when we let veterans fall through the cracks. So I'm proud to be here. I'm happy to welcome and introduce Teresa. I want Teresa to really help kind of invigorize not just what the women of PBA are doing with this national foundation that we're working with, but then also to try to bring Teresa over to the Operation Confidence side and see if we can cross-pollinate this women veterans effort. So it was wonderful that Rocio was on the call, and we heard from Monica and Michonne, and it seems to be like an all-female cast going on this week, guys. Well, with the exception of the 3 powerhouse men that we have on the show. But it's exciting because it's yet another niche of veterans and that needs to be cared for and paid attention to. And I know I'm a little biased because I'm a woman, but given our unique experiences, I feel it's well warranted. So that's why, and I know we're kind of going over on time. So Teresa.
No, we're not. You remember it airs on Block, and they gave us 2 hours, so we can just talk away.
Almost 2 hours, though. We got
Okay.
about 15 minutes of time left.
Okay, so
well, she's gonna talk.
So we'll give Teresa just a couple minutes to talk a little bit about, you know, her life as a mom and her wonderful children and grandchildren, and kind of how, you know, she came to do this great work. So Teresa, I'll let you say a few words.
Go ahead, girl.
Take your time, Teresa. We got 15 minutes. You muted.
She's like, I'm just talking.
He's muted.
No, I'm muted. You know?
You're on mute, Teresa.
Oh.
You read lips very well, Charles. I did say oh, but no. I actually have been honored to be on this show before.
Right.
Well, and actually, Rocio and I, she's the younger version of me. I have done exactly everything that she has, and I'm going to add to it. I was in the Northbridge earthquakes. I was also LA riots. A bunch of stuff that has happened to me through my years. I'm also embassy survivor. 100% connected, service connected. And also I was a homeless veteran. So I went through the cracks. I actually received the congressional recognition for supporting homeless veterans at the time that I was a homeless veteran.
Oh.
I could not see myself taking the spot of someone else. I can survive. I just put my son up at a friend's house in Mariloma, which was far. I lived out of my car for 6 months. Just because I worked so far at the Goodwill as Veteran Navigator.
So
Mhm.
all the connections were there, and I just couldn't seem, like I said, I was a homeless veteran. I lived in my car. It was simple, for me, because us veterans are survivors.
And that is why how I came into PVA was February 12th, 2016. I received a spinal cord injury. I had meningitis and they didn't know why. They said maybe it was due to me working with homeless veterans or just being out there. They don't know. But I then started meeting all kinds of spinal cord veterans that didn't go for, hadn't received their service connection, hadn't done any policies, anything that they needed. So I started having them line up outside my window, outside my door, spinal cord. And I was known for, hey, Teresa, if you need something, go to Teresa. Even though we did have a veteran service officer, for some reason, the 9 to 4 doesn't work. And I just had them lined up. Then I met somebody from PVA, the California chapter, and this was new to me. I've never been in a wheelchair. I've never met people in a wheelchair. Never realized how hard it is to go to eat. I was for 3 years. I was in the hospital for 2. I'm still in the same place I lived at, but I'm now associated with. I'm an officer on Paralyzed Veterans of America California Chapter Board. Yes, I was voted the treasurer, but I was also on as a director for 3 years past. Now that, go ahead.
Congratulations, girl.
Thank you. There's still a lot of work more to be done.
Yeah, and you got a lot of work to do with us too. So you got your hands full.
You know what? I look forward to it.
I need you so bad.
I'm here, like Martha says, I answer my phone 24/7.
Right.
So, because the need is there. The need is there. And our deepest thoughts, we're a lot of people up at night. We're night owls. We can't sleep.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was only me.
No. I get those calls as well. Yeah. And now that we have Martha as our executive director, boy, she's done amazing things.
She's popping the whip over there, huh, Martha?
Right. So she is my mentor in this. I'm the experienced on this, but homeless food, like
your phone's going out.
And this is the new one. Sorry. It's actually by the grace of God that I can share my testimony. Like that, it's our testimony that gets through, and we're making waves. So I appreciate it. Martha said everything that I do. Rocio said everything that I do, all under 15 minutes.
All right. Well, you're such a pleasure. God bless what you're doing. I seen that baby pop up and pop down. Where's the baby? Your
He went back upstairs to his dad. You know what was cute? When I was like, oh my God, because they bring in my boxes, from the VA. And he brought them all the way from the door. Not that far, but all the way from
how
the door.
Cute.
He brought them to me. He was my mailman.
How cute. How cute.
So now he's exhausted and he went upstairs.
Get a little nap in, huh? Okay. Well, thank you so much, Teresa. You're such a sweetheart. We really love what you're doing and love the fact that you're on the show, and consider a segment too.
Yeah.
I know you're busy, but we need you, girl.
Yeah, I'm glad she's on the, she's working with us because, we have a good squad, I believe,
Yeah.
Very, very, we all kind of know what we need to do, and, we're getting things done.
Right.
Because, back, I tell this story, I was very disappointed in the PVA. So in 2011, when you asked me back then to find some people with disability to come and, be honored, and nobody from PVA could show up honoring disabled people in your backyard, I was like, man,
yeah.
So once I got involved,
that's when we did it at the sports arena,
talk about it all the time. And then I hear about all the things that's been going on. I'm like, yeah, see, that's the problem. It's been run like a social club, and so we're getting the business in turned around now. So,
I know. Well, thank you so much. And Charles, thank you for your input. It's on you and Taylor now. We're trying to wind it up, wind it down, and
I'll let you lead, Taylor.
She's
like, huh? What?
I'm like,
just pick one. Just pick one.
I don't know. So how do wheelchair users prevent pressure sores? Interesting thing. Yes.
Are you
That's
asking?
Teresa?
This is our.
You know
No,
what? Yeah, let's do. Well, I mean, because I don't get pressure sores, so I'm like.
I do, and so I can tell you right now.
Thank you,
Part of it
Charles.
is, like you can get pressure sores from falling and cutting yourself and not knowing it, and you're on that. It's so. I guess the way to say it is somebody who doesn't have like me, my sensation fades down. I have a T11-12 injury, so if I sit in the same spot that's in a bony area and it's pushing down, then you don't get blood
have
flow to
muscle
that
tone.
area. Right, the blood flow, if your blood flow cuts off, that's how the pressure sore happens. For one, you can be sick, because I hear about guys all the time who are hanging out at bars and stuff and hanging out with their friends. They're in a chair all day. They're not doing any raises, which you're supposed to every hour you got to get off that spot for at least 30 or seconds or a minute or so. It takes that much just to get blood back flowing. And so it can happen that way. You hear about people who are in hospital beds all the time. They're leaning, they're on one side, or they're laying on their back all the time. They don't, so these things happen. And pressure sores are, it's very.
I've witnessed some horrible pressure sores throughout some of our clients,
And the thing about it is, you can be rich and get them too, because Superman died from a pressure sore, believe it or not.
Really?
Christopher Reeve.
And it's mainly because you don't have any muscle tone in the buttocks area, so you're sitting on skin and bone, right?
Well, not necessarily just the buttocks area only, but it's it is from when because if you're skin and bones and that the pressure is applied, you don't get a supply there because it's like it's being cut off.
Right, exactly.
It's also for your clothes, the type of clothes that you are wearing.
Yeah, right. And the fabrics. Yeah, a lot of the fabrics cut you up too. That's true.
Anthony has a question.
You had a question, Anthony.
Oh no, I was just gonna
chime in.
Yeah. I was just gonna say that I get pressure sores too on my I got T7 spinal cord injury, and sometimes I get to working and just be sitting on there so hard, then mess up and get a pressure sore, and they'll come up first like a little blister, and then next thing I know, it turns into something else.
Right.
That's terrible.
And so per person that has a feeling throughout their body, if you sit down on something, after a while you start, it's like, oh, I got to get up, because your body is telling you need to move. Those signals coming from the brain is telling you do something, and then you're like, oh my, I got to get up, and you get up and you readjust. Whereas when you have like spinal cord injury, like myself and us, those signals don't reach that spot, so you have to be conscious of what's going on, where you're at, what you're doing, all the time. So
I'll give you an example. I was at a ski resort. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was at a ski resort one time, and I sat down next to the fire, to try to warm up, and my stuff all melted on the side of me, and I didn't know I was on fire until somebody told me, "Hey man, you smoking?"
Oh no! Oh my God! What was melting?
It's
my ski suit. I ended up getting a second-degree burn on my side of my butt.
Oh no!
I've done that barbecuing. Knees are close to the pit. I'm like, hey man, what's good? That's that extra smelling good stuff. What's that? Oh, that's meat. That's that rich meat. But you know,
Oh,
no, and
funny.
things like that can happen. You know, like because you know I barbecue all the time, and I have to really be conscious of that. You know, you get your knee right by the pit. You know, especially you know if you're in a chair, you know you get by a pit, you don't have sensation in your leg. You know, and you'll be you know before you know it. And I you know I've done it before, and I said you know I mean you know I've had a literally a hot coffee pot bust on top of my lap and burn my leg, you know. So I gotta, you know, but you know, things like that. That's not a pressure sore, but basically a pressure sore is the same thing. You know,
Mhm.
you know, your skin is been what do you call it, violated or you know, or then it's not
Yeah.
violated, you know,
Yeah.
then yeah, you know, but
Well, well,
yeah,
that's some good information. Because of time, we're gonna
yeah, we're gonna
pass
run.
run on by everything and let Charles do his funny clip, and then we're gonna close out.
Alrighty. Well, let me see. Funny clip, Chuck. Here, let's see.
And then I'll get you guys the information for this product that I'm gonna work on getting a donation for PVA, but I would share with the group the arnica, which is the oil from the middle of the sunflower plants that helps with the pressure
Oh.
sores. And I
Oh,
know
that's
I kept
cool.
saying to Charles I was going to get him a
Mm-hmm.
bottle, but I'm going to try to get the whole group a bottle because it's very natural. It has healing properties, and they sell it now at certain Rite Aids, CVS. I even seen it at like a Target and a Walmart, but it's in like the little holistic section. I always like say the Mexican
Okay.
section where they have the little like products from Mexico. So it's kind of like a cross between a salve, so like a body butter lotion type of a
Oh.
consistency. Because you get more for your money. Like you can get the arnica oil in like a little bottle, but it costs like 30 some dollars for a little bottle, and it doesn't last very long. So I'll get you guys the info so that you
Yeah,
guys
and,
can
and
keep that.
send me something to post on the website too,
Okay,
Mark.
I will.
Okay. All right, Charles, it's on you. Let's wind it up.
Alrighty, you know, we're gonna go. This is the one that you wanted to see before, so I'm gonna show this one, you know, I like to show animal humor here. What happened? It's not okay, hold on. I got it. Okay. This is Kanye's been talking about. Show the one with the dog didn't want to go to the bathroom, did a shower and all this. So you guys see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Right here, we can hear it.
You gonna take a bath? Huh? No, I'm cool. I mean, was you asking or was there a demand? I'm kind of confused on if you were telling me or asking. I say no. Come on, man. Come on, let's hold on, man. Not like this, man. Not like this, man. Please. It's like the Matrix, man. Not like this, man. Come on, man. I just had a bath, man. I just had a bath Wednesday, man. It was Wednesday in April, but it was Wednesday nonetheless, man. Come on, man. Come on, not like this, man. Let's discuss. Let's discuss. Hey, girl, put the camera down, man, and help your boy, man. Put the portal piece down and help your boy, man. Come on, man. Let's have a discussion real quick. Now, hold on. Now, have a dash.
I like that one.
All right.
That's so funny. Okay, well, Taylor, take it on you, girl. Take it, close us out, you and Martha.
Before Miss Connie closes the show, I would like to remind our viewers and listeners about our amazing advertisement rates. We have 20 and 30-second advertisement slots available. Please email info@operationconfidence.org for for more information, and visit Operation Confidence's website at www.operationconfidence.org. Also, go to our resource page for some amazing resources. I would also like to inform our viewers and listeners about Amazon Smile. When making your next purchase on Amazon, please go to Amazon Smile and type in Operation Confidence in the Choose Your Organization donation box. Amazon will make a small donation to Operation Confidence. And to get involved in Operation Confidence Tiny Houses project, please visit our website and send us a message on how you would like to be involved.
Okay, to our viewers, we would also like to inform you about Operation Confidence's Positive Redirection Team, a group of male and female veterans who are mentors having overcome similar challenges and situations, transitioning back into mainstream society. To be considered or to become a team member, email us at info@operationconfidence.org. Again, that email is info@operationconfidence.org. And we're also excited. I talked a little bit about the effort we're looking to get off the ground here at Operation Confidence with the women's group. It's called the Combat Boots and Lace Women Veterans Group. And also looking for, just figuring out like what would be a good starting point for that group, right? Some art, some health and wellness, some mentoring, and Zoom meetings that we're looking to kind of have on Saturdays, maybe the first Saturday of the month. So if anyone's involved, I know we have some powerhouse women on the call.
Yeah.
Really interested in getting this women's group up and running. So if you have any questions, or you want to throw your name in the ring and help us get this going.
Throw my name in the ring, please.
Yay.
Okay.
All right.
Yay.
So you can email info@operationconfidence.org, or you can send me an email, martha@operationconfidence.org.
All right. Thank you so much. And as always, we want to remind
Connie, I just want to say, because we have a lot of things that are in the chat with information to get in touch with people. All of the stuff is going to be on operationconfidence.org, or so you'll be able to, just so we remind our listeners as well, something, and that they know, any of this information, always get in touch with operationconfidence.org. We may have said that, but I just wanted to make sure we reiterate
that's so
that.
cool. Thank you so much, Charles, for that. Okay, so we want to thank our amazing guests for coming on the show today. And as always, we want to remind our viewers and our listeners that our goals for the show is to raise awareness about Operation Confidence, and which is our mission, which is to provide stable housing with a wide range of supportive services, including employment opportunities for veterans, especially those who are disabled and may have experienced homelessness. So we want everybody to get involved and help us with this project. So to get involved with our grassroots efforts, we ask you to contact info@operationconfidence.org, or of course, send us an email at info@operationconfidence.org, and visit our website. You can send us an email through there as well, www.operationconfidence.org. And we need for everyone to please subscribe to our American Invisible Heroes on our own YouTube channel. We joined last year around the middle of 2020, and to date we have over 64,000 views and trying to go to a couple of million. So thank you so much. And also in leaving off, we're proud to announce that American Invisible Heroes Talk Radio is also broadcasting through satellite on the Block 105. So we got a 2-hour show every Saturday from 10 to 12 noon Pacific Standard Time. So thank you so much. And we're going to close out now and go ahead and tell everybody, look for you next Sunday. And to our guests, you all have been just absolutely wonderful. We've had an amazing show. And of course, our segment hosts, you guys are outstanding. So thank you so much, and say bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Show this video. And then y'all see you next week.
Okay.
Most definitely.
Close out, put the video on, and let's start closing out. Bye-bye. Thanks again.